They are setting for Corneria Brawl,
Oh, Venom. Oh, I think he's trying to just surprise himself. Yeah, he's trying to surprise himself. I thought he was picking one particular song. Lilat has bangers.
It really does.
Yeah. Kind of makes me want it not banned.
Yeah, but is it good enough of a reason? I know, we can talk about that later.
Let's not talk about that right now. Let's talk about House of 3000's KBP, JohnNumbers versus still a free agent, dabuz. Wheels on dabuz go round and round. Shout outs to Miss Frizzle. Let's do it.
Lilac going to be the pick for game one. A very unorthodox pick from both of these players. However, I feel given the odd circumstances at hand, makes plenty of sense. John's able to make good advantage of Lilat. Like most projectile characters who like hanging out to the ledge, not only does John have the ledge itself to his disposal, but the arched down wings of the ship in Lilat allow all of that room for the player with the projectiles to sit and just camp as well as they can. They have that as well as platforms to their advantage for holding down the fort. But dabuz is no stranger to breaking through those kinds of forts and turning these legends into death traps of their own.
I would say that with Lilat's tilting and everything, that this that it probably does a better job of exploiting Rosalina's recovery as opposed to Wii Fit trainers, I would say. But the thing with that is you're seeing with these gravitational pulls is that John's not going to be able to play that same game that he always typically does. He has Rosalina just chilling on the ledge in front of him that can just take all of the projectiles away from him, just forcing him back onto the ledge and forcing him to just grab it again and again, and just sort of neutralizing his offensive options from John's favorite position in this game, which is by the ledge. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be a little rough for John to be able to get around that, but knowing JohnNumbers, I'm sure he'll find some sort of way. But then again, this is the best Rosalina in the world we're talking about, so we'll have to see what sort of hat tricks he'll be able to pull.
It's going to be the ledge for now. Yeah, John's going to be still playing this the same way he plays everyone else. Doesn't matter the caliber of the target. He wants to make sure that he's at the ledge, that he dictates the momentum of the match. Although, one feature of John's play that I've seen altered ever so slightly, given the matchup in particular, is that his placement of the header ball, as well as some of his attacks, are keeping in mind that Luma is there and an ever-present shield to Rosalina. On top of gravitational pull, putting a major hindrance on the projectile pressure that John provides, Luma can body block a lot.
Absolutely. It's like you got a wall with the down B, and then in case like your paranoia wasn't enough, you put up another wall, just in case the first wall wasn't going to work out. So that's two walls that JohnNumbers has to break through if he wants to get in on this Rosalina. It's going to be a little rough for him, but John actually doing a pretty good job getting around Rosalina's edge guards, actually. He just completely outmaneuvered that down there pretty flawlessly to make his way around the stage. He just straight up went around it to the right, bobbed and weaved like a football player splitting the defense. So, yeah, it's looking like John's going to be able to find a way to mess around off stage after all, as neither of these guys have taken a stock yet, and both still under 100% within the first 3 minutes of this game.
Yeah, I've got a feeling this could potentially be a long one.
I agree.
Very much similar to Sinji versus Dill. This is one of those sets that's shown in the past to be a sort of a long-winded one. Mind you, John and dabuz don't often get a chance to play, but if I remember recently, their most recent set was at Defend the North. dabuz taking it fairly handedly, but John definitely showed that his persistence for defense can at least force dabuz's hand into playing a bit more reactionary and a bit more on the aggressive side. dabuz is certainly going to have to keep that up as he sits a stock behind John right now with 2.5 seconds and counting on the clock.
Absolutely. dabuz, a Lumaless dabuz, is going to have to figure out some sort of way to close out this stock against JohnNumbers if he wants any way to bring this back. I mean, like you said, man, the clock is ticking, and both of these characters are not exactly ooh, that's actually a pretty tough spot. He has to tech. Oh, and he winds up under Lilat.
Oh, the shenanigans.
No. Okay. Oh, no. How unfortunate.
So, the header play against Luma was actually the deciding factor of that. Not even the missed shooting star. The ball bonks him right into position, and he's just not at a good angle. Unfortunate for dabuz, but he has stage pick control, and it's going to bring us to Final Destination for Game 2.
The wheels on the bus go round and round.
The wheels on the bus looking like he might have caught a flat somewhere on the way.
Oh, Carlos! dabuz has got to blame Carlos for that one. Carlos, of course, being a metaphor for Lilat. Anyway.
Also really fitting, because that happens to be Raptor's name.
Oh, is it really?
Yes.
Oh my god, I didn't know what his real name was.
It just works out perfectly.
Let's run it into game 2.
Memes into dreams. We're still here on Final Destination. It's much the same as we saw in game 1, just a lot less of a dynamic stage. Final Destination, of course, just being its flat platform. And the fact that it is only that ledge sort of further habituates John's degenerate play style, of sitting at the ledge and forcing you to play his game.
A little pressure. Ooh, able to come out at that with just a raw downer, actually. Sort of like a... Oh man, not even necessarily an aggressive option, but just like finding some sort of a more offensive one to be able to fight his way out of that corner right there. People, if you're having a hard time just getting out of the corner with like your high tiers and your top tiers and your mid tiers, just take a look at how John does it with this Wii Fit trainer.
Yeah, just have to be aware of all the options available to your opponent and then disregard them.
Pretty much. Yeah, but dabuz, one game away from being eliminated from this bracket. He's gonna have to he's going to have to do something, man. I didn't even have a finish to that sentence. All right, JohnNumbers extending that. Ooh, wow, actually really good. And he's able to get the kill off of it.
Spicy connection of aerials.
That's a spicy meatball, if I do say so myself. Just sneaking in all those little hits, being totally aware of where his Luma is, where his puppet is, where his pet is, and is able to actually get a kill off of it. Ooh, but it doesn't matter as he goes off stage with the side B, able to dunk him with the header. Oh man, John just fighting his way through. Looking like he might defeat dabuz, but I'm not gonna count my chickens before they hatch. But dabuz does have the black Luma right now, and we are on FD, so it's a little rough.
He's got Chico Nero, this star able to, you know.
That is that one's name, right?
They're all called. Well, so in the Japanese, they're all called Chico.
Oh yeah, I know that.
I just call that one Chico Nero.
Oh, I thought you were referring to Galaxy because the black one does have a name.
I
think it's like L Star. Something like that. Some sort of like elderly star name for like a Mario sounding thing. I don't know.
They do have names.
Yeah.
I digress though.
Yeah.
We got the red Luma back, so we'll see what dabuz can do with it as he's managing an excellent juggle state against John. The Luma really putting in work against John, forcing a lot of percentage and a lot of mispositioning from John. I feel like that's key into throwing off his particular game plan. John wants a very set in stone way of playing. Luma's a spanner in the works for that, though. He's just going to constantly interrupt, constantly force John to reposition, whether he's body blocking for Luma or presenting really heavy knockback.
Yeah, dabuz is just doing a great job of just like keeping that Luma pressure on JohnNumbers at all times. I don't know if you guys can tell, but JohnNumbers is having a little bit harder of a time getting in on this Rosalina as he was before. I think dabuz might be adapting a little bit as he gets that reverse neutral air on the shield to a turnaround grab. That was actually really, really smart from dabuz to be able to keep that damage going. Puts the Luma exactly where he needs it to force JohnNumbers back to the ledge again, and that, don't believe that was a regrab. I think he might have just been on the ledge for a little too long. I don't think that was a 2-frame either.
Nah, he was just chilling there. And
yeah.
It gave dabuz the perfect opportunity for a down-angled forward smash. And it's going to bring us into game 3.
Looks like that is what it's going to do, ladies and gentlemen. The final game of this set, as it's all best of 3. Just like you're playing rock, paper, scissors with your buddies in kindergarten, or however old you are.
I'd like to see people make money off of kindergarten level rock, paper, scissors, though.
I shouldn't have said however old you are. I mean, you might just be like, 10 and just still in kindergarten. I don't know you.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. Just really sad. But anyway, dash attack.
To Smashville.
Dash attack already taking out the Luma. Dash attack low-key one of the better options for Wii Fit Trainer to be able to eliminate the Luma when the Luma is isolated from Rosalina, at least. It's not exactly wise to do it when Rosalina has the Luma on her, just like on Rosa's shield or something. But if JohnNumbers, if Wii Fit Trainer is able to separate Rosalina and Luma together, then the dash attack is definitely one of the better options to quickly and swiftly get the Luma off the level and take out that pesky star.
Match taking a bit of a metered start as before. Rather low percentages, both players just trying to react. One thing I don't particularly like out of dabuz's play is he keeps on gravitational pulling the header ball towards himself. And I feel like John's accounting for that. He keeps on using it even though it gets pulled away from him. Because it's not really a traditional projectile, it just ends up extending hitboxes and then of course being its own projectile when it is hit. Very similar to the soccer ball item. John's been taking into account of that and he'll use it as it's closer to dabuz. So it's a bit of a dangerous aspect. Not one that John has to really worry about too much in this particular set, as both players are deciding to uncharacteristically keep their feet close to the ground.
Yeah, now both players are Lumaless as forcing Rosa back into her mid-tier state. See how JohnNumbers is going to be able to capitalize. And the Luma respawns already, but that quick dash attack, like I said earlier, with the dash attack being one of the better options against the Luma, already able to launch Luma off stage and force Rosalina off one again. JohnNumbers outmaneuvering that down air as he is one to do. Still fighting off stage, still trying to find his way in, but dabuz, you just never want to like give this guy a second to breathe, man. You really never want to give dabuz even that second to breathe that he needs. Not just so he can have time to get the Luma back, but just so he can stop putting that wall out for you. Because dabuz plays like a wall. He wants to put that defensive wall up. He wants to keep his defenses high, and he wants to make himself incredibly hard to approach. Especially when you're playing a character like Wi-Fi whose approach options are actually not all that good, or just at the very least hard to execute. And JohnNumbers is doing a fantastic job. Not just of keeping him out, but eliminating the stocks as well with that header. And we have a full stock lead on the part of JohnNumbers. Never mind, no we don't. Commentator's curse, running it back, and we have ourselves a last stock situation in the final game.
That's how it be here sometimes, but
that's how it be, how it do.
Running straight back, final stocks for both players right now. This is tournament life for both JohnNumbers and dabuz, with just a shy bit over half time on the clock. I feel like John can run this as far as he wants, but dabuz being a lot more aware of John's mistakes whenever he does manage to put himself just a little too far out from the ledge. So if there is anyone that can clutch this out, I feel it's actually going to be dabuz. I feel like John might stumble a bit towards the end.
I mean, you can't go wrong with dabuz's composure. You've seen him in such high octane sets that like any lesser man, any lesser player, any lesser woman would just like sweat and shaken. But dabuz, definitely not one to choke away many leads. Not one to really succumb to the spaghetti. He's not really an Italian guy, you know. He doesn't really care for that, and she should definitely be able to keep his composure against John here. So now it's up to John to see if he's just going to be able to outplay dabuz regardless of that high composure. And it's looking like that very well might be the case. I don't know. This is still looking like a very even game. Both of these guys just hopping around, respecting each other a lot. No, neither of these guys really going for any disrespect on each other or anything. Neither of them overextending. Each playing the game in their own way. It's looking pretty good.
However, they only have 2 minutes in counting left on the clock to do so.
I can see this potentially being a timeout.
Not
saying it's going to happen, but like potentially.
It has the markings of such. These percentages, even though they're sitting rather even, aren't really that high. 64 on John is nothing compared to his ability to just stall things out. dabuz sitting at a leisurely 53. Although
and Wi-Fi Trainer at a solid 72.
dabuz is managing to maintain the pressure onto John. John just keeps on finding every opportunity he can to keep his sun salutation charged up, his deep breathing widened, and he's staying very mobile. However, I don't like the option of moving around through dodges. Rolling from right to left is going to give dabuz a lot easier of a time to read where he's going to position himself and punish accordingly. dabuz going in for the very aggressive.
Taking a little inspiration from Light, I guess, there. Dude, you just dropped like a bomb.
No, yeah, he wanted that. He wanted to just blow up John, but he's not going to be able to get it just yet.
Ooh, it runs for the grab as well. He whiffs it, though, but no punish from dabuz. Oh, man. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but there's a solid 45 seconds left on the clock here.
Yeah.
And it's still anyone's game, as that jab does not finish the stock just yet. Oh, man. That's what I'd be doing if I were John right now. I'd be taking a deep breath.
That's what you need to do. Although we see the come onto ledge forward tilt gets rid of the Luma, and there is not a lot of time left. dabuz is only going to have access to about one more Luma, considering the time.
Oh man, if I were dabuz, this is when I would start to. This is actually when I would start to flee a little bit. I'd make like a dog and flee, and that tech was so clutch.
Amazing tech. However, the percentage is now really becoming a defining factor of this as the last 14 seconds are clocking in. We see the deep breathing come down. John still having a very metered response to this. The rapid jab is going to be sending him out, and the countdown is coming. We know dabuz is going to want to run away. And John just falls. He knows that he's not going to be able to catch up, and that's going to be the end of that. dabuz with a nail-biter of a victory over JohnNumbers 2-1.
Wow.
And that was only loser's quarters.
Well,